I'm Dr. Robert F. Mullen, and this is the third in our series of videos defining proactive neuroplasticity, illustrating the process of DRNI to accelerate the restructuring of our neural network. Now, in the previous installment, we discussed the three forms of neuroplasticity: proactive, active, and reactive. And proactive neuroplasticity is the process of deliberately and repetitively inputting positive information into our neural network to consolidate learning and unlearning. But what is this information? How is it constructed? See, the objective is to ensure that the information is of the highest quality to effect change. But what are the best tools and techniques? What methodologies and psychological support systems are best suited to support proactive neuroplasticity, to help us unlearn the toxicity of negative self-beliefs, replacing them with healthy, positive ones? Now, first, there is no one right way to recover or achieve a personal goal. Change and transformation are subjective. What helps one individual may not help another, and it will never be equally beneficial. And so also what benefits us at one time in our life may not support us in another. So one-size-fits-all approaches are statistically ineffective. And it's myopic of recovery and goal-oriented programs to lump us into a stereotype subject to a predominant psychological approach. Individually, we are a conglomerate of identities. Every teaching, opinion, belief, and influence develops our personality. It forms itself by core beliefs and is developed by social, cultural, and environmental experiences. It is constant and fluid, single yet multiple, and compartmentalized. It is our inimitable way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. It is who we are, who we think we are, and who we believe we are destined to become. And it is formed and expressed by the simultaneous mutual interaction of our mind, body, spirit, and emotions. The insularity of cognitive behavioral therapy, positive psychologies, and other approaches cannot comprehensively address the complexity of the personality. So we are much better served by an integration of approaches developed through client trust, cultural assimilation, and therapeutic innovation. Our environment, heritage, background, and associations reflect our wants, choices, and aspirations. And if they are not given consideration, then we are not valued. So we approach proactive neuroplasticity through the construct of radical behaviorism, which is the collaboration of science, the environment, and the personality. Radical behaviorism not only focuses on observable behaviors, but on the thoughts and feelings that generate those behaviors. Now, both behavioral modification and its successor, applied behavioral analysis, are successful evolutions of psychological thought and analysis. But the focus of proactive neuroplasticity is self-modification, personal accountability, and self-reliance. The onus of recovery and the pursuit of goals and objectives is on the individual in transformation. The end goal of proactive neuroplasticity is positive neural restructuring, replacing or overwhelming the accumulation of toxic self-beliefs that have negatively impacted our emotional well-being and quality of life. We individually control the process through proactive neuroplasticity. We accelerate and consolidate it with the deliberate, repetitive neural input of information. And we support that process by targeting the individual personality, utilizing methods best suited to achieve the end goal. The collaboration of science and East-West psychologies is necessary to capture the diversity of human thought and experience. Now, science gives us proactive neuroplasticity, cognitive behavioral self-modification, and positive psychology's optimal functioning are Western-oriented, and Eastern practices provide the therapeutic benefits of Abhidharma psychology and the overarching truths of ethical behavior. And included in this integrated methodology are targeted approaches utilized to reinvigorate our self-esteem, which has been consequentially impacted by our condition and by life experiences. So let's begin with cognitive behavioral self-modification. Now, obviously, that's an adaptation of cognitive behavioral therapy, but one that reshapes the program rather than subverts it by emphasizing the self-reliance and personal accountability demanded by proactive neuroplasticity. Cognitive behavioral self-modification supports our efforts to recognize and replace our automatic negative thoughts with healthy, rational ones. It is most effective when used in concert with other approaches. Like its elemental predecessor, CBSM is structured, goal-oriented, and focused on the present solution. So that focus on the individual's current condition is important because proactive neuroplasticity is a here and now solution. Now, this doesn't devalue psychodynamic or regression therapies, but they are not front and foremost in proactive neuroplasticity. Now, almost 90% of therapeutic approaches involve cognitive behavioral treatments. However, critical studies dispute its efficacy, claiming it fares no better than non-CBT programs. They argue its effectiveness has deteriorated since its introduction, concluding it's no more successful than mindfulness-based therapy for depression and anxiety. But despite these criticisms, the program of behavior modification, fostered by Beck in the 1960s, is still useful in modifying our irrational thoughts and behaviors when used in concert with other approaches. Positive psychology emphasizes our inherent and acquired character strengths, virtues, and attributes that help us achieve optimum functioning. In this case, recovery and transformation. The psychology's mental health interventions have proved successful in mitigating the symptoms of depression, anxiety, and other self-destructive patterns, producing significant improvements in emotional well-being. So positive psychology's objective is to encourage us to shift our negative outlook to a more optimistic view to support the motivation, persistence, and perseverance important to recovery and the pursuit of our goals and objectives. Abhidharma psychology explores the essence of perception and experience, and the reasons and methods behind self-analyzation and awareness. It presents a clear system for understanding our psychological dispositions, processes, habits, and challenges. Its emphasis on probity over immorality is evident by the eightfold path of positive and constructive activity. So Western teachings tell us what to avoid: envy, gluttony, greed, lust, hubris, laziness, rage. Buddhist psychology tells us what to embrace: a valuable life, good intentions, tolerance, wholesome and kind living, productive livelihood, positive attitudes, self-awareness, and integrity. All things that facilitate the neural input of healthy and productive stimuli. Addressing self-esteem is an essential part of recovery and transformation. The rediscovery and reinvigoration of our self-esteem and motivation are achieved through a fusion of clinically proven exercises designed to help us appreciate our value and potential, to realize that we are necessary to this life and of incomprehensible worth. Due to our disorder and our life experiences, we are subject to issues of self-esteem and motivation, assets vital for the positive restructuring of our neural network. So to comprehensively address the complexity of the personality, we must create individual-based solutions. Training in prosocial behavior and emotional literacy are useful supplements to typical approaches. Behavioral exercises and exposure consolidate our social skills. Positive affirmations have enormous subjective value. Data provides evidence for mindfulness and acceptance-based interventions. Motivational enhancement strategies help overcome resistance to new ideas and concepts. Each approach provides an integral link to the quality and intention of our neural input of information via proactive neuroplasticity. In our next video, we will talk about how neural reciprocity and hormonal neurotransmissions are integral to the deliberate, repetitive neural input of information that underscores the process of proactive neuroplasticity. I'm Dr. Robert F. Mullen, and I thank you for joining me.